Skype for Business is a really exciting tool for the kids, but it's also a tool that I think, particularly over the coming months, that we will try and really invest some time in so that we become familiar with it and we look to it as one of our core tools for connecting with teachers in our diocese. So I'm just going to have a quick play around in it just to give you a bit of a look at what it can do. And I would suggest you talk amongst yourselves after the workshop and plan some times when you can be at home and test some of the Skyping features. I'd be really keen to do that as well. The good thing about Skype is that it has a lot of menus and where you can go to turn things on and off to access different tools. But then that can also be confusing because you'll think, oh, I saw that there and I saw it here. For example, setting your status, you can do it underneath your name here. So I'm available. I could go over here to the right and I could go to File and I could set my status here. I could say I'm busy. I could go up to File at the top, set it up there. So the same thing, which is just setting my status, I can go to 3 different places, which is good because I can just jump in anywhere, but it's also a bit confusing because we like to have one place to go. So all I can say about that is just get in and click on everything that's on the screen and just see what it does. I'll show you a few things, but to be honest, it's one of those jump in and play type things. So across the top where we have File, Meet Now, Tools and Help, I turned that on and locked that toolbar up there by using this little cog on the right here. Where it says Show the Menu Bar, I ticked it. Now I've just unclicked that. You can see it's disappeared. I'm just going to get back over here, tick it, because I do like having it up there. Again, just look through them. The file has a few different options there for you. You wouldn't want to change your sign-in address. You don't need to do that. Keep it as your school one for now. Meet Now, and in a minute I'm going to use that with you. There it is. I'll just minimize it. The tools here are the recording manager, the device, the audio, the video. Have a look through those. They're your personal settings on your computer for when you're interacting. The video, for example, that will allow you to turn your camera from front to back. The audio is there as well. Along here, this first one's my contacts. I can click in here and search for someone, and as I type, it will look for that name for anyone in our Catholic Diocese of Maitland Newcastle. I can also do that over here with my little people. I can add some contacts there, and that's where I can actually go as well to add someone not in my organisation, which is good as well for doing some professional development. Then I can group them. So for example, I could put all the hands people in one group together, and when I want to have a call with you, I could just click on it. The status, when I click on that, which is what I'm on here, it will tell me who's online, who's away. So if I wanted to talk to someone, I could see if they're available. That's why it is pretty important that you set your status at the top correctly. The little drop down arrows next to each of these words, that will show me the list of actual names, but I'm not going to do that. I don't want them to appear on this recording. So have a look through there. What I'm going to do just briefly now is pull up the actual meeting window. So when you are in a meeting, it looks like this. I'm on my own, which is pretty sad, but if I was not the only participant, that could have anything up to 250 people. Usually when you get a lot of people like that, the presenter will mute your microphone because every noise that's behind you will go through into the conference call. So usually they will mute you, and then when they want people to speak, they will unmute. So it's pretty important and probably professional, and it's good etiquette to join a call knowing that there's no background noise, you're not yelling at the dog, you haven't got your sausages on cooking, things like that. So just be mindful of the setting and imagine that you are actually walking into a meeting, and that's the sort of environment you should have. Having said that, it's good if you're not having the video function on. You can actually sit there and relax and be in your pajamas if you want to. During the call, you can actually invite more people in, and running down the left-hand side here is an instant messaging box. You can see my cursor flashing down the bottom, and that's when I type. Now, just off this screen, you can't see it below, is a blue circle with an arrow. You press that and your message will come up into the box for everyone to see. So be careful with typos. There's also emojis there. The thing, if you haven't been on a conference call, and with a few of us, it won't matter. But if it's a big group, by the time you've typed a response to someone else's comment or question, there could be another 10 responses in between. So by the time you hit send your message in, you might be thinking you're referring to a comment above you, but it's disappeared off the screen, and your comment may not make sense. So be mindful of how you word something, and use, I guess, references to whatever you were trying to relate to. Down the bottom, there's a little screen. I'm sorry that it's jumped off the bottom, but if I tap, it's the third blue circle, and it looks like a little monitor. The first one is a video camera, then a microphone. You press those if you want to video or mute. But here, there's some really cool tools in here. If I share my desktop, it's just reminding me, you know, everyone's going to see it, and I can say, okay. What comes up is actually what's on my computer screen. So I could be talking you through this during a Skype meeting. So it's sharing what's on my desktop, which, because I'm in a recording, it's probably not going to come up. But that is a really good way for people to give PD out and offer people explanations. The other really good thing in here that I like, it's under More, and it's the whiteboard. And it comes up, and it's such a cool little tool. Look at this. So I might do some writing, and I can say hi. Once you get past the first bit of, you know, writing and playing around, you could actually do some mind mapping. You know, I might say, look, we're talking about Skype. Sorry, there you go, Skype. And people on the call can all be adding their ideas about what you could be doing. I might be thinking we could read aloud to other children, and other people can be adding their own thoughts, and you could even say, look, let's pick a different colour each so that you can identify whose ideas they were. All the features of a normal whiteboard. Whoops, I need to get the rubber before I do that. You can rub out. Then when you finish collaborating and chatting and doing all of that, you can actually, or you can insert a picture if you want to look at it, but if you click on the extra options, you can save it, and it will save as a picture, or you can send it to OneNote. So all of your work and planning can go into your OneNote. So I know my Year 5 teachers stand around a whiteboard at school and they're brainstorming. Imagine being able to go home, get settled, get all your jobs done, go home a bit earlier, and then sit down quietly and actually be having this conversation in a relaxed, refreshed environment. I know people say, well, you know, you're taking your work home, but if you can leave work earlier to relax and go and be with the family and then go and do your work, you know, some people might prefer that. So I think that's a really nice option. So the other thing you can do is, during your whole discussion, is you can actually, if I go into, I think it's in More. No, oh, I can have a poll there. We can actually do some voting and question and answers. I'll just get back into here. It is record the screen. Oh, it's down the bottom here. Sorry, it's in the very far right corner. There's a circle with some dots. And I get some options, and I can actually record the whole meeting and manage those recordings. Look, that's just a couple of things. I will have, I might explore it some more and add another video. I think you're probably over watching it now. Find a friend, hook up, take turns in ringing one another, and really see what you can do, because you can, I think it's just nice to have a voice between each other when you're planning and you're at home. If someone's free and you can call them up and be talking and planning like this, sometimes I think that's really nice.